yung first experience ko to be in front of television was actually in a educational children's show, which I am so proud of, Five and Up.
Yeah.
That was under the mentoring of Cheche Lazaro and Luchi Cruz Valdez.
From one nami-miss na show to another. Kasi parang
Yes.
wala nating mga ganito, di ba? Siyempre, click. Yun ang first acting naman.
Oo. Yeah, Click. So, yeah, Click as Mimi. Yun talaga yung first experience ko dun sa pagiging actor. And honestly, I didn't want to accept that role initially because I didn't understand what it meant to be an actor nung panahon na yon. Um, I remember si Tito Rams David and John Mendoza. Tito Rams was the executive producer of Click then. And John Mendoza was the second unit director. And they went to my house to discuss if yung character, because I just felt like, what am I
Mm-mm.
why me? Though I kind of manifested it because I've always been a fan of youth-oriented shows like TGIS. And so sabi ko, nung time na yun nagko-commercials ako, so sabi ko, ano kaya no kung one of these days matry ko naman na maging part ng isang ganyang show. And lo and behold, a few months later, I get a call from Gigi Santiago Lara, who's my manager now. She was, I think, then production manager for
Yes.
Click. And
Oo.
then she said, well, we're looking for a new um, actor to come in na parang ganito yung role. Would you like to try? It's just a guesting, parang ganon. And initially, I didn't want to take the Mimi role because she was probably the farthest from my personality, honestly. Pero yun nung sabi sa akin ni Tito Rams, no, that's why it's called acting. So, baka you just like to try. So, I did. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, hindi ako agad tumatalon, but with the help of my dad, who was telling me, I know you're in college, I know you have dreams of becoming a broadcaster and going into something like pro, and try to hit hard news, but there's an opportunity that's opening, and don't take it so seriously. Parang ganun yung daddy ko. Sabi niya kasi, if you really do good at this, then great. Or maybe this will open doors sa ibang factors na hindi mo ma ano ba to, na hindi mo mapag-aaralan agad-agad sa loob ng kolehiyo. So sabi ko, okay. Eventually, when I started really getting more jobs in the entertainment industry, that's when my dad said na I'll allow you to continue being an actor. Ang pangako mo lang sa akin, huwag ka tanga. Yun ang sabi niya. Oo, as in straight. Sabi niya, ito din naman yung kurso mo. So I think di naman masama kung mag-aral ka while you're also on set. So wag tatanga-tanga.
Kasi
Yun ang
nga.
sabi sa akin ng daddy ko.
Ano daw ang context mo wag kang tatatanga?
Siguro parang he was telling me na um, set your sights wider. Parang hindi
Mhm.
di porket actor ka lang. So, if you can open your eyes and check kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng iba't ibang tao sa production, go. Kung may oportunidad na dadating na tatanggalin ka sa kung ano yung current mong ginagawa, wag mo siyang wag mo siyang babaliwalain or isi-set aside kasi,
Mhm.
'di ba? Because my dad was a highly creative man. So he would always, kumbaga, he would always see na, this little girl has always been the creative one in the family. So parang ang sinasabi niya is, don't sell yourself short, kumbaga. You have to be limitless if you want to get somewhere, parang ganun. So, maybe that's why, if you noticed, of course I'm an actor, but I really delve a lot in the behind the scenes work.
Yes.
Because honestly, that's where I'm really happy. I mean, Jimpy, I remember in one of my first press cons, I don't remember na who asked me the question, but I remember answering na parang tinatanong nila, so, anong gusto mo ma-achieve sa ano mo? Sa career mo? Like, gusto mo ba magka-acting awards? Gusto mo ba, ano yung mga dream roles mo? Ganyan. So, ang sinagot ko, actually, ang gusto ko po talaga is to head my own network.
Ah.
Tapos parang, alam mo yung di, kasi because the answer was unexpected. So parang
Ah.
sila, ano? Ha, tapos natawa pa sila. So parang ako, yeah, but that was really what I wanted. I've always wanted to head my own network. So, yon. Yun talaga yung nagda-drive sa akin na na kumbaga to go into the different fields para maintindihan ko kung ano nangyayari, kung management ba yan, kung yun nga, vice president ako ngayon ng OC Records, so nakikita ko kung
Yes.
paano maglatag ng events, production, everything. And then, I also went into a script writing class with Sir Ricky kasi gusto ko malaman kung ano ba yung proseso ng isang manunulat. Tapos yun din, pati yung pagiging aktor, kailangan dire-diretso pa rin. So, yun. Maraming aspeto talaga. Nakakapagod siya, pero ito kasi yung gusto kong
Mm-mm.
ginagawa eh. So, yun.
Ang ganda. So, yun pala ang storya ni Mimi.
Oo,
Una,
yun
kabet.
ang kwento ni Mimi talaga. Kasi kumbaga, maraming nakakaalam na ganito yung karakter niya, na pair up siya sa isang love team. Pero yung start kasi ni Mimi, yun din yung angkla ng lahat ng bagay na nangyayari sa akin ngayon. No? Lahat ng tinatry kong ma-achieve sa buhay ko, nag-root dahil pumasok ako dun sa character na yun at bumukas sa akin ng industriya. At dahil doon, marami na ako nakilala, marami din akong mga nakahalubilo. So, nag-widen yung mundo ko. And because of that, nag-widen yung opportunity na mapalawak yung ano
Mm.
yung kung ano yung nalalaman ko.
Ito, kung may masashare ka, ano ang ano, kasi syempre, Click was really a fun show dahil barkada show yan, di ba?
Yeah.
As in,
Mm-mm.
super friends talaga kayo. So parang, ano yung mga fondest memories mo while doing, Click? Lalo na ang dami mo
Fondest
na
memory.
batchmates, di ba?
Yeah, actually, I always looked forward to going into that set every Saturday. Kasi nga, kumbaga, lahat kami doon ay, kumbaga, actors in training. Dahil halos lahat kami newbie eh. Siyempre, may mga, kumbaga, senior kami na nandun na nag-guide sa amin. Actually, si Trisha Roman was one of the kindest ones to me kasi nung nag-start ako doon, siya yung unang nag-welcome sa akin. Tapos, she made me feel comfortable and she made me feel like I had a friend on the set. So, ano kami noon? Lagi kaming dikit noon, nila Trisha. Ang fondest memories ko probably would be yung mga times na nandun lang kami sa standby area namin. Kasi nagchichikahan kami doon about everything under the sun tungkol sa buhay-buhay namin.
Mm-hmm.
Our moms would be there, to help us out. Also, your kids. So you're exploring the world. So marami talagang parang um, riot. Kumbaga riot siya in terms of super saya niya or minsan may mag-aaway sa set or
Oh
alam
my
mo yun,
God.
sobrang kulit. Oo,
Oo.
sobrang kulit. Syempre ngayon looking back at it, it's funny. Pero
Ah,
nung panahon na yun, parang
seryoso.
syempre super serious na si pero, pero ngayon tumanda na rin kami lahat. I'm sure pag naiisip namin yun, parang, oh my God, sobrang nakakatawa. Kasi everybody was trying to fight for identity, di ba? And
Mm-hmm.
a place in the industry. So, kaya masaya siya. Kasi doon namin na-form yung identity na gusto namin i-represent sa industriya, ganun. So, masaya lang. Isa pa sa mga pinaka-favorite ko siguro na ginagawa namin was if we go on out-of-town shoots or out-of-the-country shoots because it's just fun to explore new places together.
Mm.
And then, makukulit na bata, so kung ano-ano ginagawa, 'di ba? Mga nag-shopping or mga mga nagkukulitan, gumigimik, ganyan. Super fun lang naman. I mean, all the co-stars that I had there were, kumbaga, now as you can see, pretty awesome individuals. Um, so kaya it was an honor to be, kumbaga, part of that show. Kasi wala lang, it shaped me. It shaped me into the kind of actor that I am. I'm also proud of all my co-actors because no matter kung ano man yung like direction na tinake nila sa buhay nila, yung iba wala na sa industry, yung iba very active sa industry, but pag nakikita ko yung life nila, they're also fulfilled and happy and they're at peace. So it's awesome. It's awesome to be like
Mm.
part of that memory, diba?
At saka grabe, ang memory ko niyan kasi yung love team niya ni Richard, di ba? Tapos sa mga kasabay niya
Mm-hmm.
sa Angel, ano,
Yes,
parang
yes.
yun yung pinaka talaga, yung height ng click, di ba? Na talagang na-establish na niya yung self niya. Kasi ang daming dumaan, ganyan, iba-ibang batch. Pero parang ibang level yung inyo na umabot sa point na tatlong sabay-sabay na show ang ginagawa ninyo ni Richard, di ba?
Oo, grabe. I mean, I didn't expect that, honestly. Kasi kumbaga, hindi naman ako aware dun sa power ng, for example, being in a love team. But I guess it sells because people are always trying to look for happiness, kilig, and
Mm-hmm.
the idea of romance and falling in love. Of course, that's always something that makes a person giddy. That's why Korean novellas are so successful. At least for Filipinos, because it uplifts, it's cute, just
Oo.
to get your mind out of like your daily grind or kung ano man yung pinoproblema mo. It's always nice to like, of course, watch something like that. And um I didn't expect that it would blow up nung time na yon, kasi parang honestly I really didn't know half of what I was doing during that time. Kumbaga, I was just winging it.
Mm-hmm.
Kami ni Richard, we were just winging it. And I guess it's just we're very lucky that we had some sort of chemistry that people liked. And Richard has always been ano naman, a very nice gentleman, and of course he's such a good-looking man. So nung time na yun, good-looking boy. So everybody thought, it was just cute, diba, to see somebody like that on screen. And it also, actually, yung path namin as a love team also opened up a lot of realizations for me as an actor, because early on I was already put in the position of doing lead
Oo.
roles, a lot of like sweet roles. But then during that time I knew I was looking for something that was more challenging or meaty. So that put me in the quest of trying to really suggest sa GMA na, why don't you guys give me something that's more spicy or a little bit more. I won't kasi call it more challenging because it's the same.
Oo.
Play a character, you play a bida, it's the same. But during that time, I was saying na I need something that would challenge me. Siguro dahil isa lang yung type of character na ginagawa ko during that time. So
Yes.
suddenly, I started getting roles like Donna in Habang Kapiling Ka.
Mm-hmm.
She was a rebel, and alam mo yun, parang anak mayaman na bratty, na rebellious.
Mm-hmm.
So, doon nag-start yung love ko for portraying gray characters, or actually it was more of a love for the human condition. Pinapakita na hindi lang black and white ang buhay. Marami tayong gray areas at kailangan yung ipalabas kasi yun ang buhay.
Mm-hmm.
So dun yun nag-start, and eventually 'di ba, parang I was balancing that off with something like Love to Love, which was
Yes.
more light. Yeah, I was playing Jen, who was pretending to be a Visayan parang Visayan assistant
Mm.
nung dun sa show na yon, and I was also playing opposite Richard,
Oo.
and then opposite Kogi. So it was a really good experience for me as an actor because I was really learning a lot from them in terms of how to make chemistries work, um, how to be spontaneous in scenes. So yun, unti-unti ko siyang na-discover. And then when actually the biggest breakthrough for me as an actor was when GMA decided that Richard was gonna do Mulawin with Angel and I had to go on my separate way. And I was actually really vocal about telling them, um, let's try to really do something else. Like tanggalin natin yung image from Mimi because everybody loves her and everybody just
Yeah.
feels na this is what I can do. And I know I've always looked parang like bata, and
Mm.
even my physicality is such. Pero sabi ko, I'd like to challenge myself. So, unti-unti yun na binibigyan nila ako na tina-try out din nila kasi parang hindi rin sila sure if I could pull it off. But siguro dahil sa sheer determination ko na lang na maipakita na there's actually something more to to me as an actor, because I really started loving my craft at that point, no? When I was really being challenged. Yun na, doon na talaga nagsimula na naging fruitful yung journey ko as an actor kasi ang dami ko na nakukuha na roles na hindi ganun kadali gawin, or
Yes. Oo.
I'd be, yun nga, the first bida contra bida role was the one with Richard also, actually.
Ugo.
Sugo. Yeah, I was playing Rebecca.
Mhm.
And, and yun. That for me was like probably an entry into the character role genres that I was doing.
Mhm.
And I've never looked back since, Now I have a very balanced view of roles. For me, it's not who's bida, who's contra bida, who's supporting. No, it's not about that for me as an actor. If I have a role, I'll do it and I'll do it well, uh, to the best of my abilities. Parang yun yung lagi kong iniisip. Na sana yung pag-portray ko may matouch na mga tao na nire-represent ng character na yun.
So yun pala ang storya doon. Kasi, hindi ko alam kung nakwento ko na sa'yo to, pero pag nagbabasa ako dati ng Pinoy Exchange,
Yeah.
yun ang laging ng mga GMA viewers na parang, kailan niya bibigyan ng break si Chynna? Kailan ba siya magbibida? Kailan ba siya ganito?
Mm-mm.
Lagi na lang nauudlot ang pagbibida niya, ganyan-ganyan. So, kasi parang ang mga tingin pa nga nila na parang, ano ba, bakit ba hindi niya siya mabigyan-bigyan? Lumipat na lang siya.
Oo.
So apparently, it was really your choice.
Um, for me kasi parang it didn't matter eventually. Though it did take a while. I mean, I'm not a perfect person who doesn't get angry. Of course, I was getting angry after a while, thinking, why don't you see it? Don't I deserve it? But it was
Mm-hmm.
actually just perspective. Kasi parang, of course, it's always nice to be put on top bill, which I was given a fair share of going into the business, diba? But at the same time, all of a sudden, it dawned on me na lahat ng aktor dito ay importante. Even talents for the matter. It's one of the things that we're also trying to fight for in actor, because I'm part of actor.
Mm-hmm.
And kumbaga, we discuss it among ourselves, saying that, we have to be able to really give importance to everybody, from somebody who may be labeled in the industry as an A-lister to somebody who is labeled in the industry as talent. We're actors here and we deserve the same kind of respect throughout everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I came to realize that siguro mga halfway through my career. Not with times when I'd break down out of sheer frustration and anger because I'd feel like I deserve more than this. And I feel it's good that I felt that because hindi ako magkakaroon ng enlightened perspective kung
Mm-hmm.
hindi ko pagdadaanan yung polar opposites of things, 'di ba? something as, oh, I feel I'm so successful because I'm getting all the breaks and I'm getting all the plum rolls. Oh, look, my name is splattered on the top of that poster. I got my fair share of that to not getting work for 7 months. And it was also just, I know, it was an exercise in trying to find a balance in ego. So, yun, that is something that actors and I feel human beings need to do on the dailies to check if you are okay, if your ego is fine. It's really, yun nga, you have to keep on working on yourself to be able to get into a state of enlightenment, which I feel is nasa magandang ano naman ako ngayon, balance. Because ang laki na nung paglawak nung understanding ko pagdating sa mga bagay na yan eh. I don't even get angry anymore if some people have preconceived notions of what was fed to them by the industry or what was fed to them by media in general. Nobody naman can have the same kind of understanding unless they are in your
Ah,
shoes. So, kumbaga, that's why I try to educate or I try to explain if somebody misconstrues things or the perception I feel is a little warped. I try to explain, hoping that it would open some kind of perspective, no, a window of perspective sa kanila.
and that is for Miss Chynna Ortaleza Cipriano. Mga hindi, ang ganda kasi noon, di ba? Parang at least ngayon, parang, kasi dahil, ano yun eh, parang yung mga comments na yun pa rin, di ba? Marami pa rin na parang
Yeah,
nag-iisip na.
I get a lot of that every single day, Jimpy. But the thing is, how can I not be grateful for almost 20 years in the industry? I mean, I take longevity over fame anytime. The longer that I'm able to do my passion, and of course everything is icing on the cake. The adulation, the money that we earn from doing a passion is just bonus, icing on the cake. Yun yung sinasabi ko. Awards, nominations, recognitions, sure. But for me, when I'm left with myself and I assess myself, are you happy? Are you happy with what you did? How are you doing? Do you want to get out of the industry or not? But I've never felt the need to really like take myself out and just terminate everything. No, probably there are times when I feel like I'm so tired because I'm juggling so many things all at once. Or you know how it is, we're human beings, so laging dalawang sides yan, di ba? Pero lagi pa rin nangingibabaw yung passion. So yun. So to anybody who's entering the business, then yun lang yung advice ko actually. Is to just always talk to yourself and check how you're doing. If you're still happy doing what you're doing, keep at it. If you feel that it's not benefiting your soul, get out. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Para it's not about anything. You don't have to chase anything else. It's just about how you're doing currently and if you're still fulfilled. If not, maybe it's time to do something else that's connected to the industry, or just probably open a new door of opportunity para sa sarili mo. So, ganun siya. Actually, yun yung tinatry ko talaga, like, with OC, because we have a lot of artists who are, technically, a lot of them are musicians. But, with me, parang sabi ko nga kay Kian, like you're a musician who was able to successfully transcend into being an actor. So I feel like I'd like to open up doors for the artists because I want them to think that they're limitless. Hindi lang sila, they can't box themselves. They're limitless. They were made that way. So, kailangan nila lang maging brave about it. So, like, we launched OC Artist House recently, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, that's my, ako, yun yung ano ko talaga. Yun yung gusto ko mangyari is to also open the doors of showbiz or the entertainment industry to people who you'd feel or who would not actually fit the mold. Because probably Jimpy, honestly, that's one of my frustrations being an actor. Na there's just a certain kind of formula, a mold, para masabi
Mm-hmm.
na that merits na pwede ka maging actor. Like Jimpy, you'd be a great actor for sure if you wanted to. And anybody or all the pepsters out there who just feel like I really have this calling to become an actor, but hindi ako tatanggapin kasi ano ko eh, maliit lang ako eh, or ay mataba ako, or ang pangit ko, or lahat na lang ng excuse na pwede nilang maisip para sabihin na hindi nila i-achieve yung dream nila. Gusto ko kasi warakin yun eh. That's why I'm really trying to open doors to people who I can see na sobrang laki ng potential, but they're just not seeing it at the moment. So, yun yung goal ng OC Artist House. And I've been busy with that also this whole quarantine. And I'm happy na little by little, I'm helping these kids open up.
Yeah.
Kasi yun yung naging journey ko. Might as well share it somehow, no? I'm not the cookie cutter. I'm not the cookie cutter actress. I don't
Mm-hmm.
Okay, granted na fair-skinned, chinita, na di naman bad-looking, but hindi din naman ako yung design na, alam mo yung gets mo?
Yung image talaga na
Yung image parang, actually naging vocal ako about it sa mga posts ko na, dati ang dami kong nakukuha na komento. Kung hindi lang ako talaga pinalaki ng matatag na magulang, baka nawala na yung sense of identity ko. Na to the point na sasabihan ka na, yung ipin mo pa, paayos mo, pangit. Or, or, yung boobs mo masyadong maliit. If you
mm-hmm.
want to get mature roles, you have to have them done. And these were coming from all segments of, I don't know, lahat na nabobombard ka nun. Kung hindi ka talaga marunong sumentro, baka maniwala ka eh. 'Di ba?
So at
I'm
least
not saying na parang it's bad, 'di ba, for other people who feel like I really want to have things done or have things fixed. It's fine if they feel it's good for them. For me naman, it was more of like I'm good with what I have. So I just want kasi people to embrace their uniqueness. I feel that's really beautiful, the uniqueness in a person more than being cookie cutter. So yun.
yun naman, nakakatuwa. At least, di ba, na ano mo na dun sa iyong bagong venture.
Yes. Oo.
Ang
Yun
iyong,
talaga.
ang tawag dito, parang cause or yung mga gusto mo
Yeah, that's my mission vision.
norm. O ito, syempre,
Yeah.
aside from being, from being an actress and now label head, isa ka ring mother talaga, di ba?
Yes.
So yun,
First and foremost,
yes.
ako
Yun
ay
talaga,
nanay.
oo. Daanan, hindi naman daanan, pag-usapan na rin natin kasi talagang yun ang isa sa mga pinakamahalagang roles ngayon, di ba? Lalo na ngayon na talagang you are with the family, yung parang walang masyadong ibang sentro. So parang kamusta ang pagiging mom habang naka-quarantine?
Super hirap. Grabe. Super hirap. Actually, mahirap naman talaga maging magulang.
Oo.
Now I understand why my mom cried when I told her I was pregnant. I thought she was just crying because of really shallow para for me during that because I didn't know how it felt. For me, it was just shallow reasons like, why are you crying? Because I'm gonna leave the nest. Parang ganun yung feeling ko. No, she was crying because it's not uh it's not easy, no, to mold human beings while molding yourself. Kasi yun eh. Every day na nga tinatry mo to be a better person. Tapos, bigla kang magkakaroon ng major responsibility of, because I don't view it as, oh, I created these kids. No, these were entrusted to me by God. Diba? These souls were entrusted to me by God. So what am I gonna do now? I don't know the first thing about being a parent. How will I be successful at this? Or I don't necessarily necessarily feel na sobrang lupit kong tao para magbigay ng advice dun sa,
Oo.
alam mo yon, may ganun siyang push and pull. But,
Mhm.
uh, just have to trust yourself. Totoo yung sinasabi nila na pag andyan na, everything will kick in. Yung instinct, at saka yung learnings mo. Again, a lot of it comes from failing as a parent. Because if you don't create those mistakes, then you'll never learn na shocks. I think I
Oo.
should adjust my view a little bit. So, actually, it's been really tough over the ECQ because I have zero help. I can't take a break naman talaga from taking care of the kids. Kian and I, we can't even like really take an hour breather just to watch a movie na kaming dalawa before, kasi we could do that because we ask my mom to look
Mhm.
after them for at least 2 hours. Tapos we'd hire a caregiver to look after the kids. But now it's not that. We have to be everything and everywhere all at once. So it's been tough. Kaya ang hardest lesson, well, not the hardest lesson, but probably the most valuable lesson that I learned during quarantine was to let go. Kasi I have a tendency to really be a control freak. Kasi nga, detail-oriented, kailangan,
Oo.
I have to battle yung ano ko eh. I have to battle yung sense ko of what what's perfection anyway. Kasi parang sa akin, if I don't do my best or if I didn't get things right away, I beat myself up for it.
Mhm.
Such a bad mom, or what, you're such a ang klaseng individual ka ba? Ganon yung mga sinasabi nung sarili ko sa sarili ko. So parang, oh my God, di ba? Ang pangit naman kasi you're just trying your best to get by every day. So you have to be kind to yourself, to your partner, and to your children. So itong lockdown na to, Jimpy, I swear, I baby-proofed my house, everything, because I know I don't have a nanny to look after a,
Aha.
a explorative um, infant turning into a toddler. So, Jimpy, even if sabi nga ng nanay, when I was crying to my mom during one of the days in ECQ because si Salem fell off his high chair straight into
Oh.
the floor, which I started crying about because I baby-proofed the floor, but he fell on the spot where there was that small spot where I had no foam.
Oo,
Doon
talaga
siya
naman.
nagland.
Dun
So
pa.
it was a lesson from God saying, you let go. There are times when you will not be able to protect your children from pain, or you cannot. It's physically impossible for you to protect them from everything. They have their own lives. They will go through a lot of pain, heartbreak, but all you have to do is be there and comfort them and do what you can. So, puro ganun yung sinasabi niya, puro ganun yung journey ko as a mother, now, na parang, okay, I just really have to relax because hindi ako pwedeng nakatuto kay Stellar, tapos nakatuto kay Sele, mamamatay na ako eh. Ganun yung
Mm.
feeling ko. Yung physicality ko magbe-breakdown na talaga kasi ang dami kong iniisip na kailangan kong gawin at magagawa ko siya dapat ng mabuti. Kasi ganun ako bilang tao eh. Hindi pwede na. Ganun ako
Oo.
eh. Which is also bad. Kasi parang di naman pwede lahat magagawa mo ng maayos eh. Mag-relax ka kaya, umupo ka muna dyan, huminga ka, gusto mo, tumulala ka. Yun yung sinasabi ko eh. Luxury ko ngayon yung matulala.
Ano lang, oo.
O at walang iniisip at hayaan mo yung mga anak mo dyan muna. Nandyan lang naman kayo sa isang maliit na kwarto. Tingnan mo. O kung kung mabunggo, okay, nabunggo. Ganun lang siya, okay,
May
nabunggo.
learning curve.
Oo, i-check mo, kamusta ba siya, okay naman siya, umiyak siya, patahanin mo, o wala naman anything na serious, hayaan mo na. Kasi kailangan niya magtanda, parang ganun. So, same with Stellar. Si Stellar, ang issue ko naman, because she's in school, and of course
Mhm.
now I think every parent is having extreme control issues or standard issues in terms of how their kids are performing in school. Kasi syempre you're there and you're seeing them progress, or you're actually allowed to assist them in their class. At least for me. She's in preschool. So we have an hour or sometimes 2 hours of classes, and I have to be there to support her or to look after her needs. Pero sinasabi din sa akin ng teacher niya na diyan lang po kayo pero hindi niyo po kailangan gawin yung mga bagay for her, or just let her do her work and just observe. So, ang dami kong natutunan pagdating dyan sa control na yan, and just letting them go, and also tweaking your standards in terms of what is perfect or what is good, or, you know, basta nagagawa ako happy na ako ngayon na she's able to do these things, and then after a while she keeps on practicing and practicing until she becomes better at them.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I've learned so far sa pagiging parent ko over this whole season.
Parang ayun, kasi may kinalaman sa ano, no? Ewan ko if you're okay naman sa pag-open up nito. Pero parang, paano kayo nagko-cope up din pagdating sa finances ng family?
We
Kasi,
are,
di ba?
you know what, initially it was one of our fears because we're both in an industry where everything just got cut off. So kumbaga, ang bread and butter, of course, ng musicians are live gigs, that falls under mass gatherings. Also, our artists are musicians, so they do a lot of bar gigs, they do a lot of events, so that was cut off. Ako naman, as an actor, tapings and everything, that was also cut off. But we are very lucky, and I am very lucky to have a husband who is smart enough to be forward thinking, because we have din naman parang I have to thank Tita Sonny and for really like, and Tito Jobber. These are on the side of Kian's family, for come like talking to us early on in our marriage, and they were educating us about emergency funds, investments. So we listened to them. Kasi that happened during the time when Kian's daddy passed, and parang it was a hard pill to swallow, knowing that shocks, um maraming things na hindi naayos in terms of like insurance for his dad and stuff like that. So Kian suddenly parang na-open yung eyes niya dun sa aspeto ng, so what if I die? What am I gonna leave my family, my kids? Because we don't know kung kailan ka kukunin,
Mm.
right?
Lalo
So
pa,
that's when we really started talking about getting putting really a certain amount of money into, number one, an emergency fund. So we'd always put a certain amount of anything that we'd earn diretso yun sa emergency fund, yung savings namin. And then we also started really investing in insurance, from health to life to critical illness. All these things we had to really, kumbaga, study and invest in fast. So there. And then also I have to thank my papa, because my papa really, I don't know how it happened, but it's a blessing that we took his lead. And it's also a blessing that, yun nga, I guess both of us as partners were a good match, because even if it scares us, we always jump. No, so the opportunity to again parang go into something else than our individual careers, which is our bread and butter, because we know that 'di ba, we're able to earn a decent amount of money
Yes.
from being an actor and from being a musician. But sabi ng papa ko sa akin, that's not enough. There has to be at least something else to bring in streams of income for you. And Kia knew that going in dahil alam niyang tatay na siya. So, uh, therefore, we have OC Records. And
Yes.
um, really, really blessed kami. We keep on really praying, and we're so grateful and we're so humbled because apart from us being sustained by this business, it also sustained so many people. We haven't folded up during a time when everything is folding up. So, yun talaga yung isa sa mga
Mm-mm.
malalaking blessings namin. Um, and also, sabi ko nga kay Kian, ang galing because you keep on adapting and adapting even if there are challenges that you face, feeling mo parang, I'm not earning as much as before. But the truth is, it is enough. There's always a provision that comes in if you are willing to work for it. 'Di ba? Yun naman lagi ko sinasabi. Tama po na nagdadasal tayo at nagpapasalamat tayo for the provisions. And you have to trust in life, you trust in God that these will be given to you during the hardest of times. I'm sure everybody is, surviving at this point. But you have to be able to be willing to do the work or else it will never materialize.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, our finances are fine. The income coming in, it's not as big as before, but it's enough. And it's ako for me para siyang magic na parang okay, shocks, you get worried, you might not be able to pay for loans or you might not be able to support or help your family or because syempre parang kami ni Kian, we still help our families. But magically, I don't know, we're able to pull through. So yun yung parang lagi kong ini-encourage din lahat ng mga tao no, na parang take this opportunity to really assess because sometimes some of my friends they get cut off. I mean, a whole margin of our friends. I was so angry when the ABS-CBN franchise was shut down. I mean, I was in tears thinking of all my friends, who
Mm-hmm.
have families and makes me emotional thinking about all of them because they're just working. They're just working. They're working hard. And it's unfortunate, syempre, na something like this happens. But it always happens for a reason. I guess we can't really blame anybody for what has happened. But I feel it's also an opportunity for them to assess what else can I do if something like this, like parang kang pinutulan ng limb, 'di ba? Parang kang pinutulan ng limb. Pero it's not kasi the end all and be all of what they can do or what you can do as a person. So sana this is an opportunity for everybody to really like go into something that they love. If it's a passion na nakalimutan nila, na gusto pala nila gawin, like some of them are discovering, shucks, I'm actually such a good cook, or oh, I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
share a family recipe that's made out of love from my grandma, and then you start sharing it with other people, and then in turn it comes back to you to support whatever it is that you need. Parang dapat ata ito yung panahon na yun, no? Kailangan natin i-change yung perspective natin or else hindi tayo makakasurvive. So dapat talaga i-take natin yung darkest events na nangyayari sa buhay natin, and then shine your light on it so that you never know. After a few years, yun nga, tatawanan mo na lang siya at may isip mo, it had to happen for me to be in this place. And it's always, ang masasabi ko lang is, every time na may tinitiklop or every time na may kino-close na door, i-trust mo lang. Tapos, after a few years, when you assess, makikita mo exactly why it had to happen. And I'm sure you'll smile back at that memory and be thankful na it happened. Kasi it's always such a wonderful place to be in, yung now mo.
Mhm.
So yun.
Thank you for that, Chynna. Ang ganda ng mga ano ngayon talaga, insights, no? Ang bongga, as in grabe.
Salamat naman
Di
kung
ba,
gano'n.
di ba, ang daming matutunan from, the personal perspective hanggang sa napunta na tayo sa finance and parents.
Yes,
Diba?
oo.
Ang daming, opportunities to learn.
Oo, yun talaga. Jimpy, for everybody now na, kasi hindi lang naman to Pilipinas buong mundo tong nakaka-experience nito. I feel it's it's a signal din talaga for us to look inward. Yun yung sinasabi ko din sa mga nakakausap ko na parang, of course, it's normal for humans to parang snap or sometimes point fingers and blame. If kailangan mo i-express yon para makatulong sa proseso mo, entitled ka naman doon kasi may boses ka. If you feel you want to fight for what is right, go. Pero as much as possible, try to not blame anybody. Unless, kasi hirap talaga kung wala ka sa posisyon. Yun yung, yun yung natutunan ko bilang aktor. Yung empathy na that comes with yung profession ko, blessing ko yun talaga. For me, blessing yun ng lahat ng aktor na dahil may mga pagkakataon na gumaganap kami ng roles kung saan kailangan namin pasukin yung pakiramdam ng ibang tao. Kung abogado man yan, police, presidente, nurse, pulube, lahat yan tinatry mo pasukin kailangan mapapasok mo siya ng maayos at magagampanan mo siya ng maayos kung willing ka na intindihin kung ano yung pinagdadaanan nila. So, at the end of the day, lagi ko yung naiisip na even if it's just so hard to say, it's your fault or you're just so bad at what you do, at the end of the day, you really have to be more patient and I guess, yun nga, I think everything starts from sarili. So, if you feel you get frustrated pag nakikita mo yung mga nangyayari sa labas, parang at the end of the day, reflect, tingnan mo kung actually ikaw, kung maayos ka ba dun sa aspeto na yun. Kung hindi, ayusin mo. Kasi baka makatulong ka Tapos, unti-unti mong tulungan yung mga tao sa paligid mo. Yun yung lagi namin dinidiscuss ni Kinga na parang sa totoo lang, bawat pamilya dito, or actually, bawat tao or bawat pamilya ay parang gobyerno. So, kung sa loob ng sarili mo, hindi mo pa siya ayos, or kung yung sistema ng pamilya mo, sa palagay mo ay kailangan pa ng ayos, siguro yun muna yung focusan natin. And then after which, kung ano man yung magsasanga doon na mga pwede mong magawa outside, basta nanggagaling ka sa magandang sentro, feeling ko makakatulong siya sa pag-ayos ng iba pang bagay. Yun, I'm really praying for that. Yun ang fervent prayer ko, na sana pagkatapos ng pandemya, pagising natin lahat ay hindi na tayo bumalik dun sa dati. Sana mas maganda na yung gagawin natin moving forward kasi it will shape the future generation of people that we will never get to talk to or get to meet. But at least, diba, I think this generation this is one of the most important roles that we're gonna play in the history of mankind, because we're actually gonna be able to shape what's gonna go on in the future depending on how we're gonna resolve this thing, no, as human beings. So that's what I pray for every day. Not just a cure for COVID, but a cure for all the things all the toxicity that's coming from being human, I guess. So, yun.
Ayan. Ito muna. Kasi syempre nga, hindi nga kompleto ang Dahil ang ganda na, very insightful. So, gawin natin medyo fun ng konti.
Sige,
Although,
game.
pinag-usapan natin, pero ito na yung mga light part
Okay, go.
Alam mo na,
Push.
sanay ka na dyan.
Oo naman.
Ilang beses ka nang nag-guest namin talaga. Ito na ang PEP Challenge. So, madali lang po. Iklian na lang natin bilang
Sige.
ito ay may 2 kids pa. Naku, kakahiya naman kay Kian.
Okay lang naman kasi meron pa akong work today. So,
Ah!
i-commend ko lang talaga ang mister ko for being
Hmm.
super mom din siya. Walang gender sa bahay namin.
Ito, ang challenge mo lang naman ay guilty or not guilty.
Sige, sige. Wala
Actually,
pa.
parang usual na questions na to talaga ng lahat ng dumadaan dito. Pero, kasi ang interesting ng mga sagot, iba-iba.
Oo naman. Yun yung,
Malalaman kung ano ang katotohanan ng mga kabataan kayo at mga kahit ngayon, di ba?
sige, sige.
Okay,
Game mo ka
first
dyan.
question. Skip dating para dumate sa jowa o kaya sa friends.
Guilty.
Guilty. May kwento.
Guilty.
Ano
Kasi,
taping?
ha? Hindi kasi, bata pa ako nito kasi parang kumbaga yung panahon na yun, parang feel mo, gusto mo lang na rumelax from trabaho. So, may mga times na parang may papasok na inquiry. Kasi 'di ba biglaan lang naman minsan may dumadating na
Oo.
opportunity. So, parang pag kunwari may naplano na ako na, gusto ko mag-movie or gusto ko lang like chill on a weekend. Tapos pag yun, depende sa mood ko. Sasabihin ko, pass. Pag gusto ko mag-date, pass. Nagawa ko na yun, oo naman.
Hindi naman yung mismo nasa set ka na or may ongoing
Ay,
na
hindi
siya.
ako ganun. Hindi
Dumedma
ako
ka.
ganun. Oo, hindi ako ganun. Kasi syempre, pag kinumit ko na yung sarili ko sa isang bagay, hindi ko yung tatalikuran.
Hmm.
Pero yung tipong may biglaang inquiry, tas meron na akong naplano, i-weigh ko yung mood ko. Tapos, may mga times na ayoko. So, papas ko yung inquiry para makapag-date.
Noon yan, pati hanggang ngayon kasi syempre date kayo ni Kian. May
Um,
chance na ganun.
Actually ngayon very transparent talaga ako sa management ko. Na parang lahat ng dates na feeling namin importante na kailangan namin i-block, binoblock na namin ahead of time. Or in case na feeling namin kailangan namin ng break, sasabihin namin na magbe-break kami ng 1 week wag muna kayo mag-schedule ng kahit ano. So, okay naman. Coordination lang kasi yan talaga.
At least, di ba? Bongga.
Oo.
Ito, next.
Yes.
Nalaman na rin dun sa first. Pero baka iba ang story nito. Sakitan para hindi makapasok sa work.
Ay, not guilty.
Aha.
Oo, hindi kasi sa akin joke ang may sakit. Alam
Oo.
mo, takot na takot talaga ako yung parang the boy who cried wolf. Yung
Oo.
mga ganon.
Di baka
Baka kasi
magkasakit.
karmahin ako Tapos bigla
Oo.
talaga ako magkasakit. Actually, mas pa nga ako Mas pa-warrior. Yung tipo, may
May
sakit na talaga. Tinatry pa na tapusin yung trabaho. Recently lang yan, nangyari ulit yan, di ba? Nung sa Idol sa Kusina, sumakit talaga yung sikmura ko ng solid na akala ko acid, yung pala gallbladder issues na. Oo, deny ko pa yun. I really tried. I went to the clinic, and then I took some medicine, tapos di pa rin. So, dinala na nila ako sa ER for us to realize na meron pala akong stone sa gallbladder. Oo, tapos it took me another 5 days. I still went to work kasi I had a commitment for a brand. Marami pa akong kailangan gawin. So, I didn't want to go into the hospital agad because I had these commitments that previously were already set. So, I was just downing pain relievers for some time until I really couldn't. So,
doon na, ito ka na natauhan.
hanggang sa hindi na talaga kinaya, dinala na ako ni Kian sa ER.
Kaloka, gallbladder. Iba pa yan doon sa yung pinag-usapan natin na may sipong ka habang nag-host. Tapos halata sa'yo talaga na may...
Iba pa yon. Ito yung pinaka-recent na example ng pag-deny ko sa sarili ko na may sakit ako habang nasa trabaho.
Takot. Mabot sa gallbladder. At least not guilty. Malinaw tayo.
Not guilty,
ito, nag-cut ng classes noon.
Nag-cut ng class. Oh my God, I'm so boring. Not guilty. Hindi talaga ako nag-cut ng classes.
Ang
As
sipa.
in, hindi talaga ako nagka-cut ng classes. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Siguro talagang trip ko lang pumasok. Ako yung tipong bata na mahilig
Oo.
pumasok ng school. So, yeah. Kasi ito pa, never ko na na-experience naman yung prolonged years in college na parang hawak mo na yung schedule mo nun, di ba?
Oo.
Kasi pag high school ka, talagang fixed. Pero pag college, pwede kang mag-cut. Di
Oo.
ba? Kasi ganun yung college eh. Pero never din ako nagkaroon ng time na nag-cut na nung nasa uste ako eh. So, at kasi ilang months lang, hindi naman ako umabot ng ilang years eh. Kaya ganun. So, not guilty.
Guilty. Oh, ito
Oh,
kaya not guilty pa rin. Kasi may
oh.
kwento ka kanina habang click yung usapan natin. Pero ewan ko kung involved ka naman doon. So,
Yes.
naging pasaway sa set.
Naging pasaway in what aspect?
O kunyari, yung mga gano'n, yung may nakakomprontasyon, o nagmaldita, o parang
Ah,
hindi nakaka-perform.
ah, paano ba? Guilty but with reason ah. Di naman
Okay.
ako nagpasaway ng dahil wala lang. Usually yung pagpapasaway ko dahil meron akong pinaglalaban. Ganon. So, yun, parang guilty with reason. Paglalaban ko, kung pakiramdam ko parang hindi tama yung nangyayari, or nafe-feel ko na parang, hindi naman ata fair, but nagkaganyan. So, doon ako magiging vocal ako. Doon naman nila ako maaasahan sa pagiging prangka ko. So, tatanong ko yan. Usually, magsa-start yun sa tanong na parang, teka, bakit, kumare for example, teka, bakit biglang, um, nagbago yung mga eksena? Or, di ba parang,
Ah,
kumare, parang, di ba ito yung inaral ko. Kumari, ito yung mga inaral kong eksena. Tapos all of a sudden, na-scrap siya. Tapos, ha! So, yung mga ganun na parang, okay, wait lang ah. Kung pwede, bigyan nyo lang kami ng time para ma-absorb kasi hindi
oo.
naman kami henyo. So, syempre, kailangan mo pa rin i-prepare yung sarili mo sa mga mangyayari. Or sometimes, bigla nilang may additional na eksena na hindi na pag-usapan. Yung mga ganyan. Yung, hindi natin napag-usapan to. So, pag-usapan muna natin bago natin gawin para klaro lahat, 'di ba? Walang feelings of hindi ka na-explainan or hindi ka fully aware or hindi ka gumawa ng informed choice. Yun kasi yung pinaka-hate ko. Yung parang napilitan. Hate na hate ko yun. So,
Oo.
yan yung mga pinaglalaban ko sa set.
So ito, at least malinaw yon ha. Na,
Oo, malinaw yan.
pasaway with reason. Parang hindi nga considered na pasaway. Nagtanong ka lang naman at ano.
Pero kasi minsan parang uy, James, nakakuha ko na ang dami mo naman tanong. Ganon, nakakuha ko ng ganong feedback. Kaya parang ako,
Oo.
masama bang magtanong?
At least, di ba, nagtanong.
At least nagtanong kaysa naman bigla ka na lang
Oo.
inirant sa social media, 'di ba? Na bigla lang
Maraming ganyan.
bumulwak, bigla na lang bumulwak sa sobrang galit or sa sobrang disappointment na bulwak, yung gano'n.
Oo.
Doon na lang ako
Oh,
bubulwak sa harap nila.
taas natin ng konti, hirapan natin.
Okay.
Naka-witness ng gulo sa set.
Ay, guilty? Ang dami. Lagi. Marami naman kasing ganyan coming from, ano ba yung mga nakita kong mga,
Na
usually
natin
yung,
pangalanan, pero kung may makikwento kang certain sitwasyon
wala
na
na, actually yung mga, yung mga nangyayari before sa set, ano naman yan eh, mas nauuna pang naisusulat bago namin
Oo.
maisiwalat, di ba? So, normal naman na nangyayari sa set na, nagkakaroon ng konting initan sa co-stars, mga ganyan, or konting hindi pagkakaintindihan, mga ganyan. Pero minsan nabo-blow out of proportion kasi naayos
Oo.
naman doon. Pero syempre, dahil na isusulat,
Sa
'di ba?
chika na sa lahat.
For clickbait purposes. Yun ang
Oo.
lagi ko sinasabi. Ay, nako, na-clickbait ka lang. Yung mga
Kahit ngayon, may mga ganun pa din.
Well, ako ngayon, currently, medyo peaceful lahat ng yung sets na nasasalangan ko. So, siguro, yung last kong na-witness, matagal na, ancient na, siguro mga ilang years back, mga 10 years back.
Mm-mm.
Ngayon kasi parang steady naman lahat ng mga nasasalangan ko na sets. Even kumbaga parang lahat from something as, of course, regular as a soap or kahit film or racket, lahat yun peaceful yung
Oo.
na pupuntahan ko eh. So wala masyadong
Mm.
gulo.
At saka kung sa click nangyari, parang medyo understandable kasi mix of personalities talaga yun. Tapos
Yes,
ang dada.
sabi ko nga sa iyo nung pagbata yung mga kasama mo, syempre
Oo.
naglo-look for identity yung mga bata. So syempre may times
I-clash
na
pa.
magkakaroon sila ng konting clash of yun nga opinions.
Oo.
So
Pero hindi ka naman guilty sa na ikaw ang na-involve.
guilty din. Ano ba?
Yeah.
Siyempre. Siyempre, sabi ko nga sa inyo, may pinaglalaban ako eh. May
Oo.
pagka-Gabriela silang kasi ako. Pag feeling ko, na-offend mo yung morality ko or the way I was raised, medyo parang, pag feeling ko, hindi ko maintindihan yung kung paano ka pinalaki. Yung mga ganyan.
Mm-hmm.
Diyan ako nanggagaling na doon ako medyo na-fire up na parang saglit lang kasi hindi naman tama yung pagka-address mo nung situation. Usually ako, nagkakaroon lang ako ng issue pag hindi hindi prangkahan.
Oo. Sa ibang
Oo,
tao naman.
well, yung kunwari pag nakakarinig na ako na nagsisiraan tapos yung mga tao wala doon. Minsan, ride ako, natatawa ko, ganyan. Pero pag may times na parang unfair, pakiramdam ko, walk away na lang muna ako. Hanap na ako ibang kausap.
Oo.
Ganyan. Kasi parang, mas gusto ko na kung talagang may problema tayo sa isa't isa, mag-usap na lang kayo ng straight. Tapos figure out nyo na lang kung saan nanggagaling yung isa. Kasi baka malay nyo, di ba may matutunan kayong bago sa isa't isa or talagang maintindihan nyo na hindi talaga kayo magkakaintindihan. So at least, di ba, parang
Okay na
okay na
yun.
yun. Yan. Oo, ganyan. Pero hindi pa naman talaga ako yung sobrang nakipag-away na umabot sa punto na nag-stop yung dating. Hindi.
Wala
Hindi kasi
naman.
ako, usually parang konting discussion lang yan tapos very very pro kasi ayoko kasi ng parang may nadadamay if ever man may konting problema. So,
Mm-hmm.
pag-usapan, tapos pag napag-usapan, you come to a compromise, okay na yun. Tuloy na tayo sa trabaho, parang ganun.
Ang galing pati kung halimbawa na ganyan na rin ang perspective mo, click days pa lang, syempre yung mga bagets pa kayo nun. So parang ang galing.
May konting may konti akong kumbaga meron na akong, ewan ko kung ano yung na-instill sa akin ng magulang ko, pero may ganun na akong pakiramdam na, sige. Uh, ano na lang, pag-usapan na lang next time, tuloy na lang natin yung trabaho natin. Though, yung perspective ko ng trying your best na wag mag-gossip or like wag atakihin yung person behind their back probably came later on in my life. Kasi
Oo.
syempre pag bata ka parang mabilis ka talaga, you're quick to
Sweet.
judge and you're quick to anger.
Oo.
Kasi nga may pinaglalaban ka para sa sarili mo. So I think it's normal no for teenagers to be so fired up. Mm-mm.
So we therefore conclude sa dulo ng anong ito ay malayo ka nga kay Mimi. Di ba? Yun nga talaga. Ito na yung proof nun para sa lahat na nakanood ng clip. Yung kanina
Diyos
kung
ko.
hindi masyadong naniniwala, pag napanood niyo ng buo ito, ito na yung proof. Di ba?
Una pa lang, favorite color ko, black. Paano?
Siya, girly colors.
Pink. Di ba?
Diba?
Pastel. Ganyan siya.
Ayan, thank you, Chynna. Super duper.
Thank you.
Napakasarap talaga ang chikahan natin. Grabe.
Salamat. Nako, laging happy ako pag nakapag-share din naman ako sa iba't ibang tao ng mga kwento at perspective ko. Salamat sa pakikinig at sa inyong pasyensya at time. Thank you.
Thank you rin sa iyong time. And of course, kung meron ka mga gusto, i-promote.
Yes.
Or
Oo nga. I'll take this opportunity sa mga pepsters na nanonood ngayon. Siyempre, keep safe. I will always pray for everybody, but habang ano kayo dyan sa bahay, habang nagre-relax kayo sa bahay, ng idol sa kusina sa GMA7. So, mornings naman to. So, pwede kayong mag-start ng araw nyo with me and Chef Boy. 10:05 ng umaga, i-ere yung episodes namin na bago for you guys. And also, apart from that, follow us, follow me on my social media accounts, at Chynna Ortaleza sa Twitter and Instagram, at Chynna Ortaleza sa Facebook. And actually, iniisip din namin ni Kian kung paano pa namin ma-share ang family life namin sa inyo. So, unti-unti kaming nagsa-start. Gumagawa kami ng material for you guys. So, abangan nyo ang Duster Diaries because
Ay!
yun yung parang ginagawa ko na a peek into the real life situation of work at home, stay at home full-time mom.
Mm-hmm.
So, yon, aabangan nyo yon. And,
Ay,
and I'd also like to, of course, syempre ngayon, if you guys have time sa bahay, do stream a lot of the music that we're coming out with through OC Records. So, yung mga artists namin, sila Unique, si Kian, Canadely, Earl General, Raisa Sida, Frizzle Ann, super dami pa nila. Please enjoy their music and yeah, kumawala muna kayo sa worries nyo by listening to them. So, yeah, follow at OC Records PH on Instagram and Twitter. And
sila
Facebook.
na kaya ulit magkakaroon?
Let's see. Actually, meron kaming ni-record ni Kian na some of our songs na we never got to release before. Kasi meron ding may solo project si Kian. So, he asked me if pwede ba naming i-release yung isa sa mga kanta namin doon. And nag-agree naman ako. Wala rin ako kasing kawala, guys, kasi nasa bahay kami. So, nakikita niya lahat ng galaw ko. At pag nakikita niya na may time ako, tinatanong niya kung pwede kong kantahan. Lagi kasi akong nagme-make ng excuse na boses ipis ako, pero wala eh. Gusto niya talaga na kumanta ako dun sa track. So, para mapasaya yung asawa ko.
Ibinigay mo na.
Oo, binigay ko na. So, sana magustuhan nila yung track. Lalabas yun soon. Siguro in the next month. Yeah.
Wala ka namang soap ba na naiwan?
Wala akong soap na naiwan.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay lang naman. At least yung pressure of hindi mo alam kung kailan ka babalik. Wala namang ganun. So, idol sa kusina lang talaga yung namin, yung current namin na ginagawa. Kasi nga, saktong-sakto na nag-pause muna ako sa serye because kakapanganak ko kay Salem. Oo.
Thank you, Chynna. And of
Thanks,
course,
James!
lahat ng Pepsters na nanonood ngayon, don't forget to follow us sa aming social media accounts. Ito na ang Facebook, kung saan kayo nanonood, tsaka sa YouTube. Kung ano mang piliin yung platform, mas maganda, di ba? Kung
Go!
Sabay pa. Charot. And Twitter and Instagram at PEP Alerts. And meron din kaming Viber chat, Viber community chat, so hanapin nyo lang yan. And of course, pati sa Kumu.
Oy, meron na sa Kumu.
Oo. So dyan, every Tuesday and Thursday, makita-kita tayo sa Facebook and sa Kumu with replays on YouTube. O, di ba, bongga?
Naks! I love it!
Thank you, Chynna. Maraming.
Thank you, Jimpy. Thanks, Pepsters. Keep safe.
Enjoy your day, Pepsters.
Bye.